Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education. I am your narrator, Frank Avella. In this video, we will explore several note-taking strategies. Strategies will be divided into linear type note-taking and non-linear type note-taking. Right now, we'll begin with the question of why should students take notes? One of the most important purposes of taking notes is to save and record information so that it can be reviewed and studied at a later time. Notes should explain information through summarizing what was described during the lecture or readings. Research indicates that note-taking in the classroom leads to increased student learning and academic success. Note-taking increases memory. This is due to the fact that information taken in this manner is dual encoded, both visually and auditory. Taking notes are an important factor towards success in college. Students should learn note-taking as early as they can. Several methods of note-taking help to organize information, thus making the information easier to comprehend. On to the next section, useful tips for note-taking. First off, use new pages for new lessons. It helps with organization, and it makes it easier when looking back to find notes. When taking notes, you're going to want to leave some space. This is so you can add questions and side notes to be reviewed later on. Abbreviations are used by good note takers. They do this to save time. CRESP can stand for cellular respiration. Another tip is to add dates to your notebooks. This helps when you have to identify what days you have missed in class. Lastly, you can write on the side of the notebook. Maybe as a note taker, you want to go back and expand on something previously written. You simply have to write it on the side. Next, we'll look at one example of a linear form of note-taking, and that example is outlining. Outlining is all about breaking down information into a logical format and sequence. Information is broken down from one idea to the next most relatable idea. Outlining is often used in science and mathematics courses. Here's an example of what it should look like. You have a main topic, then a subtopic, followed by a detail after detail, another subtopic, then detail after detail. The next linear type is the sentence method. Here, students easily write short sentences for topics of the lecture. The sentence method is most needed when taking notes during a fast-paced lecture with fast-talking professors. Each thought by the professor can be written as a sentence on a different bullet. Students must pay careful attention. This method isn't about breaking down information. It's just about recording the information. On to the first of the nonlinear note-taking methods, the SQR3 method. This stands for survey, question, read, recite, and review. This type of note-taking is used mainly for textbook material to be read and studied. Students may be assigned a chapter in the textbook to read. They can then begin the SQR3 method by skimming/surveying the material. From the main topics, students ask themselves and write down a series of questions. Next, the student reads, also looking for answers, and then the students write down notes based on their thoughts. That's the recite section. And it finishes up with students writing a summary of everything they have learned to be studied for upcoming exams. Moving forward, we come to the next section, which is the guided notes. Guided notes are given to students as a handout, with the majority of important ideas outlined in the notes. The notes may have some images and bullet points to emphasize the key topics. Other parts of the guided notes are left blank. That is done intentionally for the students to fill in. This actively involves students in the note-taking process. Students may use the guided notes as a study guide. I like that guided notes place responsibility on students while scaffolding the process as an assignment. I want to take a quick break right now and ask you to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe and don't forget to like and share this video as well. Back to the nonlinear methods. Next, we have mind mapping. Mind mapping is mainly used to connect smaller ideas to larger ideas. Mind maps begin at the center of the page with a main purpose. Similar to mind maps are graphic organizers, which can help students identify connecting ideas. Mind maps may include drawings and images. They can be quite artistic as well. Students should be encouraged to make them as unique as possible. Moving along to the fourth of 5 nonlinear note-taking methods, we have charting. It is primarily used to organize information. One way to chart information is through tables. Tables are used in many different subjects. each time organizing information. Identifying similarities and differences is another way to chart. The use of similarities and differences is one of Robert Marzano's high-yield teaching strategies. Checklists also chart information as a sort of classification method, where information is easily sorted and recognized. Now on to the last of the nonlinear note-taking, which is the Cornell method. The Cornell method was developed by Walter Pak of Cornell University. Students use their notebooks to separate information into 3 distinct categories. The first category is cues, which are keywords and questions. Then there is also a section for notes, and at the very bottom there is a summary of information section. At this point, I want to mention that all these forms of note-taking require active listening. Students should not be mindlessly copying down notes as they're written on the board. Note-taking is a cognitive process that requires summarizing, organizing, eliminating information, questions, and much more. Now, let's finish with a short look at digital note-keeping. Students can use digital technology such as laptops to help with poor handwriting problem, or the problem of writing very slow by hand. There are problems with digital note-taking, however, like the added distractions that are right in front of the students. Some research shows less retention occurs if students take notes electronically as compared to taking notes by hand. Taking notes electronically does allow for students to make revisions and edit, much easier than crossing out words. New technology such as tablets allow students to write using software, and some software actually autocorrects the work. So there you have it, everything you ever wanted to know about note-taking. Right now, I just want to say thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and check the description link for resources below.